Hey you guys, okay, I jumped on here. I'm going to do a quick highlight and contouring so I can show you. Some of you have been asking because it is a little intimidating. It's so different from just putting a blank color on your face, which is what we're used to doing. The highlight and contouring, you're really wanting to use light to create areas of shadow and brightness to accentuate your features. Okay, so I put my colors in a little quad because that's what most people get first. So you can see them. I've got two highlight shades, a contour, and my blush color. I am going to start out of my big one just because I don't know if you can see in this light, but I have redness in here that comes down to here, and then I also have a bunch of zits from the heat and wearing masks all the time now. So that has been fun. So I take the Contour Aspen very first before I do anything because it has some kind of a green undertone to it, and the greenness of that neutralizes the redness in my face. If you think about the color wheel, red and green are opposites, so they neutralize each other. So I love Aspen to bring it in and neutralize this redness that I have that comes down here. So I'm going to show you that first. So I just take and then the rest of it I'm just going to use the 30-second hack brush so you can see that. So I'm just going to bring some Aspen in here. I don't use very much at all. There's literally hardly any on my brush. But I don't know if you can tell, you could see the kind of the warmth that the redness was giving my forehead, and it instantly looks cooler, right? Just because I brought in that neutralizing color. I'm just gonna dab it on some of these little zit areas because they make me crazy. So anywhere I have redness, I'm just gonna bring in a little Aspen and neutralize that that redness. Okay, and like I said, I barely had any on my brush. That is how well it works. Okay, so I'm gonna do this whole thing with the 30-second hack brush. I use this side. It's kind of a little puffier, but pretty dense. And then I'm gonna use this beveled side for my highlight. You can literally do this in any stage that you want. If you want to start with your contouring or if you want to start with your highlight. When I first started doing it, I would put on one and then I would blend, and then I would put on the next one and then I would blend. And now I put them all on and blend at the end. So as long as you have the right colors for the most part, you literally cannot mess this up. Okay, so I am going to start with my contour this time just so you guys can see it a little better, and I don't have the other colors on. So here's my palette, my little quad. I'm going to dip in my contour. I'm going to start with my cheeks. You want to find your cheekbones, right, and then come right underneath that because we're using the contour to define where those are. And you want to come about to the middle of your eye when you bring that out. And if you're worried about where to put this, like I said, you want to go just under the cheekbone, but you want to err on the side of going a little too high rather than a little too low. Okay, so you can see, and you can see already just how that just kind of defines my cheekbone a little more and makes my face look a little thinner. Now I am going to do my forehead. If you have a small forehead, you do not have to contour your forehead. Mine is not small. So I'm going to contour it. So I just take this and pull it down. And that gives me more color at the top when I do that. And it just kind of instantly blends it out for me. temple to temple with my contouring because my forehead is large. Okay, now I'm going to do my jaw, sorry, my hairline. And I'm going to start at my jaw and just stay right along it, about here. Again, you don't need a lot on your brush. These creams, a little bit goes a long way. And if you do get too much, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so dark, it's freaking me out, they blend out so well. So just, like I said, if you get too much, just blend a little more than you normally would. Okay, so I will also contour my nose, but I'm going to do that after I put on my highlight. So I've done my forehead, under my cheekbones, and along my jaw. And sometimes I like to pull this down just a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna first start with my highlight color. The first highlight color, I refer to it kind of as your base highlight color, just so I don't get confused. It's more of your natural skin color. So I just kind of stipple this in. You don't want to cover up your contour. Okay. I'm gonna do my whole nose with this, and then I'll come in with my contour after. So up here, I'm just gonna fan this out a little bit. Bring it along here, and I'm just gonna stipple it in. I don't want to cover up that contrast, but I want to get it as close to it as I can. Sorry, I've got these AirPods in because I've got kiddos at my house and it's loud. So I'm just going to kind of lightly stipple this in everywhere. And when you stipple like this, sometimes you don't even need to blend at the end because you're kind of blending as you go. Okay, then I'm going to take my brightening highlight. It's always going to be the one that's brighter than the other color, so you'll know which one it is. And I'm just going to put it in those areas where we want a little more brightening. So like under your eyes where you can get some dark bags. Put it right there. Here just to add a little more brightness to contrast that more. Down my nose, and I get some redness there, so I just want to give myself a little extra coverage, and then along my chin. Okay, and then I like to use, so I've done everything with this one brush, and if you want to blend with this, you can. When I first started doing this, I did, and the only problem was I was blending too much and I was almost blending everything together, so I wasn't still getting kind of the contrast that we're looking for, so it was almost pointless to be doing what I was doing because I was just almost blending it all out. So now I use a perfector sponge. You always want to use it wet, but you don't want it soaked. So what I do, I've got a little bowl of water here. I put it in water, kind of squeeze it out, put it in again, and then what I do is I take a towel and kind of squeeze out the water from a towel so it's still damp, and then I just take it and literally just press your makeup into your skin. Okay. I'm just gonna press this all in. you can see, those of you that watch my eye video, how doing this around the eyes, it just cleans up kind of any little mess you make there. Just gonna press it all in real good. And that's it. So you can still see my contour and my highlights, because we don't want to see stripes, but we want to be able to get the differences, right? That's what we're going for. We're going for that look of shadow and light. That's what's making our face look skinnier than it would be. So the last thing I want to show you that I keep in my quad is blush. You can, a lot of people just put it on with their finger, or if you want to use this brush, you totally can with the contour side. I love our B Squared brush. It's an end for blush and then an end for either like buffing that out or bronzer. Our Bella bronzer is amazing. But because I wanted to do everything with this brush for those of you that maybe this is the only thing you're going to get, I'm just going to use my finger and show you how easy it is. This color is Sandstone. It is my absolute favorite color to use by itself, or a lot of times I love to mix it with things too. I mix it with, my favorite things to mix it with are Hollywood and Nude. So I'll just take my brush and dip in Sandstone and then a little bit in Hollywood and a little bit of Nude, and it gives the most beautiful color. But for today, I'm just going to use this by itself, and I'm just going to use my finger, and I'm just going to put it on the apple of my cheek. Kind of smile so I know where it goes. And look how, like, I barely dip my finger in it, and look how pigmented it is. Like, you literally hardly need anything at all. These colors are so pigmented, it will last you so long. And I love blush. I think we all need it. It just gives a nice color to our face. I'm just gonna put it on the apple of my cheek there. And I didn't even redip my finger. That's how pigmented these are. And I'm not going to need to. This is plenty. Okay. That could even be blended out a little more. It's a little dark. Okay, so I have shown you all of these. I'll even put a little bit on my lips, because our cheek color will double as a lip color. You can use the same stuff you put on your cheek, or you obviously don't have to. So that is a hack. The more you do it, the easier it'll get. The first couple times, it'll probably take you just a little bit longer, but once you get going, it literally is so fast. If you have any questions, please let me know. There it is.